Okay, we're live. Welcome from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Actually, the actual title is Shooting with Disabilities. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal. All those links are listed down below there. And all that. I would be honest to say, if you send me a question in email, very rare that I look at it when the show's going. So I don't know why I say that, but it looks good on my piece of paper here. But if you have any questions you would like to ask, for like for an upcoming show, you can email them to me. I would appreciate it. Anyway, let me have a look to see who's in the chat. First in was Gun Loving Grandpa, then Southpaw RX, Rich White, M. Gabriel, Raphael is here. So we're looking good. They're starting to come in. And we'll start with my esteemed panelists up there in the corner. We got the New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
No problem. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark.
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Then we got the one and only Kingpin.
Evening, Rick. Good to see everybody tonight. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, then we got Jason Stewart.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. Doing good. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Midnight Range has just joined us in the chat there. Yeah. He goes, he's heading off to Philly for some free Pumas. Anybody want to tag along? Yeah. So, anyway, Shooting with Disabilities. Somebody brought this topic up the other day, and I thought I'd carry it on today. Is as we're getting older, I guess it's not really. I mean, I guess disabilities is part of it, but it could be anybody really as you're getting older. I mean, do you think for EDC putting what's the word for it? A red dot, or what do they call them? An MRM, or what do they call it on your carry gun? Does it make it easier to hit the target, or is it all hype? I've never used one, so I don't know. That's why I'm asking. So we're starting with Jason. What do you think?
Yeah, the red dots and the RMR, yeah, they make it easier to hit things. First time I ever shot one, dead center bullseye, straight shot. That's where the dot was. That's where it went. Yeah, they work great.
Now, I mean, what was it easy to adjust from looking at sights to looking at a red dot?
Yeah, it was okay. It actually seemed like it's not supposed to magnify, but it seemed like the little glass on the RMR kind of magnified the target maybe just a little tiny bit, or at least put it in focus for me. And it was just natural as could be. Pull it up, look through there, you see your sight with a glowing dot in the middle of it, or your target, I mean, and your little dot's glowing. Yeah, works great. I had no struggle with it at all, man. I just wish, I had guns that would let you bolt one of those onto it, That's the other issue about getting one. You got to have something that'll take a RMR.
Yeah, now I do know, because I was thinking about it for, my, I wasn't thinking, actually, I thought about it a couple of years ago before I changed, or last year with my big O 45, my M&P 45. They make, I can't remember, I'm not sure if Smith & Wesson made it or some third party but they made you know how the guns today are made with that piece that you can take out to drop the red dot in or whatever, right?
Yeah, a little plate they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some third party that makes is you take off the rear sight and you can slide in in that gap. There's sort of like a plate that will fit them that goes into where your rear sight goes. So you got to look into that. So yeah, I mean, so you take your rear sight out, and I guess the bottom of the plate for it to hold on to your firearm slides into where your rear sight was, and your plate's sitting on top of that. So it's one way to get it on a firearm that doesn't use them. You know.
Now, would that? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Patriot.
I was just question wise, if you put one on where the rear sight is, that would have to offset it forward so that the mount, because normally don't they sit more towards the center or just behind center on your slide, or don't they? I've never seen one. I've got a couple for a telescope, shooting the moon and stuff, but nothing that was on a pistol.
Well, from the ones I've seen on the internet, I don't own one, but it slides into where your rear sight goes, and the plate. I guess the thing that, I mean, it looks. I mean, it's a long plate with a thing on the bottom that slides into that section, and it's held. I mean, I don't know. It fits on there just like a normal one does.
The plates I've seen basically notch in like he stated. You obviously have to put your piece on first, I believe it is, before you notch it in. Could be wrong on that because I don't know one. And they're
in the same location.
Yeah.
So you can co-witness if need be. But the plates may be off, so I don't know. I don't have personal experience with them. If I was going to do it, I'd honestly have it right to the slide. Just seems to be a better deal, and you can still co-witness your sights if you had to. But I'm too cheap for those, and I think they wouldn't last out with me. Bumping into things like 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'm bashing my gun into something, so I'd hate to spend $300 to $500 or something like that on a sight just to beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, see, now that's another thing about these things. I mean, you get one of those, you're going to have to find a holster that will you're going to have to buy a new holster that will have room for that thing to go in there. And as you said, if you knock it, you could damage it. But I don't know. What do you think, Kingpin? I mean, are they a good thing? Do you think as you get older and your eyes get worse, you should go towards one of those?
I'm not really big on the red dots. I don't have anything against them. I'm just not really a big fan of them. I would imagine from what I've seen, hitting a piece of steel becomes really easy. Jason kind of debunked my original thought about putting bullseyes in, because if he said he got a bullseye, then that kind of blows my theory about that apart, being like super accurate. But as far as self-defense or whatever, or hitting a piece of steel, 3-inch piece of steel or a 10-inch, you're gonna bang it pretty much every time if your sight is on. All the competition shooters, maybe not all of them, but lots of the competition shooters use them, and they're not looking for exact accuracy. They're looking for just being on target. But if you think if it's something that you want to go for, I can't see how it would be a negative thing. And except for, like you guys already said, if you get a cheap one and it's got a plastic dome on top of it, it's going to break. So you got to pay a little bit more and get one with a metal dome, and then you'd have to modify your holster or get a holster to fit it. But Midnight's out there. He probably won't like me saying this, but if you guys go check out Obnoxious One's channel, he's got 50 videos with all kinds of different red dots that he's sampled and the base plates where you take off the rear sight to the ones that are RMR cut and all that different kind of stuff. So that's a good channel if you're interested to go check out. He does lots of videos about that. But ultimately, I can't see how it would be a bad thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing, as you said. I don't know. I have no thing on it one way or the other, personally myself.
Well,
I mean,
if you're losing your vision, which would with a sight would be your ability to focus, and instead of picking up the white dots or the fiber optic front sight or whatever you might have, if you can look through that little window and see a red, a green, a blue dot a lot faster because of your vision issues, then I'd say it would definitely be a bonus. Anything that helps you acquire your target faster.
yeah. Rich White says you're better off getting the slide cut for RMR than use that sight replacement. I don't know. I mean, that's what would worry me. I mean, are they going to be as strong as one that's cut into the slide?
Getting a slide cut's probably not very cheap either. So
No.
it might be ideal just to get yourself another gun that's ready for it.
Yeah, but a lot of guns are being sold that way today.
Nowadays, yeah. And I just add that if it improves your shots, go for it. Even if you are mounting it up on a plate or something like that, just due to the fact most of your defensive stuff's going to be within a close range anyway. So as far as accuracy, I would state I know a little bit on that in the sense that it does vary depending on the size of your dot that you're using and your distance. So a bigger dot at a closer distance, the dot's going to be pretty big. Obviously the opposite with a smaller dot. But then again, you may lose your smaller dot out further than the standard self-defense, encounter. So the only thing I would caution is making that your only sight. To me, I think that's taking a chance. It's slim, but you never know. It could be really sunny. Something can happen where maybe, it's a crazy trumper or the guy's wearing red. Not a crazy trumper, but you know what I mean? Maybe the guy's wearing red and the red dot's not lining up too well for you or something, or, there's a red background and they're wearing red, which would probably be the worst case scenario. But, having redundancy just seems smart, just in case, or God forbid you get knocked on your ass and the thing breaks. It would still be ideal, to be able to cover your bases.
I think that the technology with removing the rear sight and using the plate as opposed to getting the cuts will catch up. Right now the cuts on the slide are the thing. It's the top of the line best. I'm assuming, because I don't know much more than just watching like Obi's videos about them. But the technology for replacing the base plate and removing the rear sight, I'm sure it will get better over time.
Yeah, I reckon it will too. Ghost Tactical is saying a lot of companies are using yellow and gold dots because yellow is still visible for people who are colorblind. So there you go. So,
and that's already, just with the dots itself. From what I understand, they all started red, and you can already get different colors. So there's the technology catching up that fast.
Yeah. So I know, Patriot, that unfortunately that you don't have your eyesight is totally gone.
Yeah, I would say anything that helps you out and makes you more confident, I would use. Because I mean, I have several people in the family that they wear glasses or whatever for nearsighted, so they can't see at distance or whatever, or it's harder to, I guess, focus on things where they have to kind of concentrate if it's something close or whatever. And so something where you can actually shoot and have both eyes open looking at your target, I think that would, that might be a benefit for, most people anyway. But I know Kingpin mentioned obnoxious his videos, you could also go over to Gun Snob because he tells you alternate ways of mounting those red dots on your slide.
There you go. Two good
There's a drill press on the side.
thing there. So, New York Outcast, what do you think? Yay or nay?
I say yay. If it's helpful to you, go for it.
But have a backup.
Yeah, I would try to do it where you still had your sights as well, just in case. Obviously, most defense things are close, but you never know when Uncle Billy's going to hop off the porch with a machete because you just got into it with his nephew or something. So, better to always be safe than sorry.
I mean, now, I don't know. Are those red dots made to be co-witnessed with the sights that are already on a firearm?
Some of them are. That the actual bolt-on plates, not the plates you were talking about with the sight dovetail in it.
Yeah.
But about all the plates that I've seen, the newer style of mounting, they have sights built in that will co-witness.
Oh, okay.
In the back, it's all like one piece. Now, the only thing that I've noticed about those plates we were talking about that has the sight dovetail in it and it's just a flat plate,
yeah,
it seems like that's going to raise your red dot up in the air a little higher. You know what I mean? It's not going to be low enough to deal with factory sights anymore, or even the taller sights. At least that's how you have to put them on a Beretta. Unless you have it cut, you have to use that adapter plate, and they don't have co-witness sights for those, like a Burris fast fire sight. But the newer stuff, pretty much everyone I've seen does have co-witness sights on the back of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it takes a tall front sight though. It kind of looks goofy though.
Yeah. But now, talking about that, it took about a month for my contact lenses to come in that I had ordered way back when, that I got through my insurance paid for them. I was told they were out of stock. That's what took so long. But anyway, we're going to this. I had my eyes. I had to go back to the eye doctor to have them dilated for them, for to get real big, for they can check to make sure I ain't got no busted blood vessels anything behind my eyeballs because of the diabetes. I'm doing fine on that. But my contacts are coming, so I'm going to start wearing them tomorrow. And to me, as I think I've explained it to you guys before, but anybody who doesn't know, my contacts are monovision. My left eye is for distance. My right eye is for close up. And since I'm right eye dominant when it comes to shooting, so when I hold the gun up there, I'll be able to see that sight beautiful. Wearing my progressive glasses, which have the invisible line that go from far to close up, sometimes looking at that sight, I sort of have to hold my head up slightly to get it, to get it right before I can see the sight correctly. So to me, going to the contacts is a hell of a lot better. So I'm going to start wearing those tomorrow. So I just thought, mind you, I haven't wore contacts for a couple of years, and he told me I said, yeah, I know. I remember when I first got them, it took me a couple of weeks for my eyes to get used to them because it used to give me headaches because you got one eye going further than the other. But after a while, your eyes get accustomed to them. So it might take me a while, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that. So I'm going to contact lenses.
Did you get the lenses that you have to take out every day and soak, or did you get the ones that you can leave in for a week, or how does that work?
No, I got ones that take out every day. So they're soft contacts you can take out every day, and you put them in a cleaner at the end of the night, and you can pop them in the next morning.
So if you put the right one in the left eye and the left one in the right eye, you won't be able to see. Like if you put the wrong contact in the wrong eye.
You know it that your vision's not right, Oh yeah, but then again, see when the little things you put them and tell you right or left written on them. But I have got them mixed up before, and I popped them in and stood there, and I'm thinking, this something ain't right here. Then I realized I got them in the wrong way. Also, not all of them, but mine, because I got such a bad stigmatism on my left eye. I know is when you take them off, sometimes what will happen is, being soft, it will roll up as you're taking it off, and it will flip inside out, and that's hard to. On mine, I have to make sure it's like a bowl. No, like it's a round circle. If it looks like a bowl that has lips, it's inside out, and it won't work right. But you get used to, after a while, you get used to all this stuff, and you do it without even thinking about it. You know, so just popping them on there. I mean, I didn't think, putting contacts in, poking yourself in the eye would work, but it's quite easy, really. So I'm looking forward to start wearing them again. See, I can be a 63-year-old cool guy. Unfortunately, it's winter time, so I'm not going to have many chances to wear my Ray-Bans, So, but I can when the snow comes out. I can put them on, I guess.
You can wear them during the stream too.
Yes, yeah. I can wear them shooting as well when I'm down at the range. I'm going to have to find my safety glasses, because that's what I used to wear before. Because I'm not wearing my normal glasses here. I had to put safety glasses on like you normal guys. So. All right. Did everybody answer that question about the RMRs? Is that what they're actually called, or is that a brand name? RMR.
I think RMR is a brand name of one.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it's kind of like a generic term for them, but I believe there is one that's just called RMR. It's the Surefire or something, like one of the originals, the most expensive ones.
Okay. Oh yeah. Vanessa Kitty's arrived here. Sabrina's here. She says she'll never wear contacts. So. Oh well. Vanessa Kitty says she always wears sunglasses in the wintertime. Actually, I used to wear when I lived in Rhode Island and Connecticut, I used to wear my sunglasses in the wintertime too, a lot, because there was a lot of snow everywhere.
Yeah, living in New York, I think you might wear them more in the winter, especially if you're driving in the mornings on any of the highways. So,
oh yeah.
You'll be regretting it if you don't have them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm doing with I'm going back to contact lenses. I thought, hell, why not? Since insurance said they're paid for them, I went and got some. Now,
do you still have glasses?
What?
I know you're wearing a set, but did you get a pair of adjusted glasses too?
No. Because my eyes haven't changed. So right. Plus they only give me $250.
You got a backup pair?
What, glasses?
Yeah.
No. But
get one.
Well, yeah, I do. I have an old pair. The pair before I got these ones. I mean, the prescription's slightly off, but they're usable. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta learn how to lie to Rob once in a while, Rick.
I know. But
man, I'm just thinking of your well-being. You never know. The aliens invade, and
my insurance gives me $250 to go towards a pair of glasses or contact lenses. Last time I put them towards glasses. This time I put them towards contact lenses. Also, these contact lenses I have, I've had the same brand for years. My other doctor used to give them to me too when I lived in Rhode Island. It actually says you're meant to change them every 2 weeks. But my doctor told me, she goes, long as you put them in the solution every night, and she said they're good for a month, and that's what I normally do. So I mean, so I have 2 boxes of each, so that should last me a year. Till I have to buy any more. But I have been known to lose them, so I've had to take out new ones. Before the month was up. And normally losing them, it's not that they fall out. It's like when I'm taking them out, sometimes they pop out. And you ever try to find a clear contact lens on a white sink?
So what other colors did you get? Did you get the baby blue eyes and the pink eyes and the starburst eyes?
No, they're all clear. I just go for, what you call it. I just got straightforward contact lenses. Now, what I do know is that I got to make sure I put the drops in my eyes sometime during the day and stuff, because if I let them get too dry, they are a bitch to get off. You practically rub your eye roll trying to get them off. So it's easier to keep them moist, So anyway, that's where I'm going with that. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
I got one.
Yeah,
I got one for Patriot.
All right.
I think we kind of talked about it last week a little bit, Rick, but I don't know if Patriot was a part. With being blind and knowing everything malfunctions, would you say it's safer for a person with vision issues or any kind of other issues, but mainly with the vision issues, to use a revolver? Because if something happens, all you got to do is just pull the trigger or cock the hammer again, as opposed to the semi-auto where you might have to drop the mag, a double feed, a stovepipe, or something like that.
I say before you carry anything, be confident with it, use it. I mean, it depends on the people. I mean, I carry both, not at the same time, but I'll switch back and forth between a revolver and the semi-auto. I don't really think about it, because I mean, any of the malfunctions, because I practice the malfunction drills, all that stuff too. So I mean, if I don't know, the only thing that I'm worried about is coming out of battery if somebody's rolling around on top of me or something.
That's what I was.
That's the only other thing. But and revolvers are cool too. So really, it's as far as the malfunction part of it, if you're, I don't really lean either way, because I mean I'm used to my stuff, and you just have to make sure that you practice with it. I mean, if you're a newer shooter or something, you still need to do the practice. So you still need to know how to fix whatever goes on. I mean, I wouldn't just say, yes, just get a revolver. I mean, yeah, they might be easier, like a double action only kind of thing, where there's nothing that's going to get snagged, and it's a little simpler, but it's still something that you have to put the time in. So I mean, if it's something that you're just throwing in a drawer at your, in your house or whatever, just in case somebody comes and knocking and comes in, maybe, if it's something that you don't use all the time and don't put the time in and practice, for that, I had to throw that in there so Rob wouldn't get an ulcer.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got another pet peeve, like I had on Saturday. This one's not so. This is to do. I hear you guys going, if I use this firearm or I carry this firearm. I'm a believer, maybe my instructor, because I said, I went, what she told me in the beginning stuck in my head. She goes, choose what firearm you wish to carry, then stick with it. Because if you keep changing your carry, you're not really going to be, I mean, your muscle memory's got to be different for, pulling out a revolver to pulling out a semi-auto, or pulling out a 45 to, I'm going to wear my 380 today. I mean, you're not going to be super proficient in either one if you keep changing up all the time, are you? I mean, pick a handgun that you're going to use and carry that one until you decide to get a new one. And you put that, either sell that one or put it away in your safe and carry the new one forever. But changing up, I'm going to wear, I'm going to carry a revolver today. Oh, I'm going to carry my big O, I'm going to carry my big O, 357 today. I'm going to carry my, and the next day I'm going to carry my Beretta. It just, to me, that is just asking for trouble. If a situation arises where you need to pull a firearm, are you going to remember which one you're carrying that day? You know what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm coming from, or am I just looking at it all wrong? What do you think, Jay?
That sounds good to me. Stick with something, or at least limit, your choices between a couple guns and try to stay familiar with both of them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Kingpin.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm living in Maryland, so I don't really have a whole lot of. I have zero, pretty much, experience with carrying and changing carry guns. I change my bedside gun every once in a while, just to kind of have a different gun to look at. But most of the people that I know that talk about changing their carry weapon do like you say. They got their summer gun, and then maybe once in a while they'll throw something else in there, but they pretty much carry the same rotation of guns all the time. So I guess, like you were saying, they know what they got and they're good with what they have on their hip at the time.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that you're in Maryland. I saw that beautiful holster you got the other day. And that's what made me think. That's why I asked you, So that was for a 380 too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was for the easy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I got, an easy. Yeah. That's a nice looking holster. And with that silver cacho on it, is that what you call it? Whatever it is. That would go with my pimped out 380. That would look sharp. But anyway, you got it. So, anyway, Patriot in the Dark, what do you think about my question?
I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to say no. Because if you're hanging out with Rob and your firearm goes kaput, you got to be able to pick up whatever he's shooting. So you got to know what you're doing. I would put in time with what you carry, and I would limit it, but I want to be proficient with anything. I want to be able to adapt to whatever the situation throws at me. If I'm walking along and all I use is 1911s and I get jumped in front of a Glock store, I want to be able to twist my wrist around backwards so that I can use it right. But I want to be able to use whatever I get.
I'm not. Yeah, what I'm saying,
because that's the thing though. If you pick it up and you're used to one sight and that's all you use, and then you pick up a revolver or something, but you got to be able to, I don't know. It might be different for me, but I'm going to be that guy.
You are that guy.
The big lesson in all this is maybe what Patriot said slipped by you guys, and maybe I'm the only one that picked it up. But the moral of that story is don't ever go near a Glock store. There's no reason to be near anything Glock.
I agree with you. When I thought he was. I heard that sort of like backhand joke he was throwing, not jokes, snide remark he threw in there about how you have to twist your hand around to hold it or whatever.
I actually made a video. I didn't release it about Glocks actually being an alien conspiracy because molding the human to the machine instead of the machine to the human has always just kind of baffled me.
Yeah, but
of course, if my dealer does get that 10 millimeter back, I will be buying one just to have.
Yeah, but okay, but I disagree with you, though, you being that guy on wearing a different gun all the time. For one, yes, I'm not saying you're not practicing with them and you're becoming efficient, but in the heat of the moment, right? Especially if you've gone from a revolver to a semi-auto or from a, from Monday you carried a little 380. Tuesday you're carrying a big ass 45, right? I mean, in the heat of the moment, and you go grab your gun, are you going to remember what gun you got on you and how it works?
Yes.
If you
Because if I'm carrying my 380, I'm in a suit, and my suit I have to get underneath, a jacket to get to it. So yeah, I'm not going to change it every day. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's up to you what you do, but I do change randomly. At least once a month I'll swap just because I don't. I test out different things, and I don't know.
I don't. I put the full size 45 away, and I carry the 380, and that's all I carry. So I might take the 45 out to the range and shoot it, but I'm not gonna carry it again. Anyway, New York Outcast. Come on, give us some activity here.
I want to completely agree with you, Rick. I really do, but there is value in knowing other platforms. Now, myself, I've carried a shield forever, basically. And when I do carry my full size, I still sweep the safety, even though I don't use the safety on my shield, unless I'm handing it to somebody or something like that. But basically, it's just a natural habit. But considering it's almost the same platform, either way, you know what I mean? If it was on, I'm still going to clear it. So it's pretty much the same caliber, a little bit bigger. But in general, I think, there's the old stating, fear the man with one gun, because he knows how to use it. There's things I hit with my shield that, just would shocks me sometimes. Not stating I'm, like perfect or anything like that, but I think it's just because muscle memory, you get used to it, where it's going to go in a sense, So I think switching around could be a little bit of a hindrance, but at the same time, you got to be able to know how to use other platforms as well.
That's what your range time is for.
Be able to hit minute of man with it.
That's what your range time is for, is to shoot other platforms.
Yeah. But if you have a jam with another platform, can you deal with it? It's like, if I don't know, if you're in the military with an M16 or whatever AR style, which obviously there's difference, but at some point you're gonna have an AK placed to you, depending what you're doing. So you're gonna know how to use an AK, how to take it down, pull everything apart, clean it, give it a put back together.
I know how to use revolver. I know,
right? But you got to be able to still pass a qualification in a sense. You still need to know the other platforms, even though they may not be your preference. So I would say like a 70, 30, 65, 45, something like that's a good ratio. But everybody's different.
If Patriot and I are in a fight, and I somehow lose my 380, and he's dropped his 1911, I know how to pick that up and shoot it because I practiced it on the range. But I feel one carry gun, and that's it. If you keep changing up, you're going to screw yourself up. I know.
I agree. You're going to be better with just the one, but you limit yourself too. Everything's pros and cons. So, that's 100% if you're 100% guaranteed that that's the gun you're going to need to save your life or whatever at any given time. But
you practice with other firearms on the range. You practice the drills if it gets jammed up, that you have to tap rack or rack and tap. You know what I'm saying? That's what the range is for. Not out there in the middle of somebody shooting at you. Go, hold on a minute, I got to figure out what gun I'm carrying today.
Just for the record, my 1911 is the same as my 380. Is a little baby 1911. So.
All right.
Anyway,
when you consider, safeties, some of these guns, there's levers everywhere. No, what else am I thinking?
See,
here?
that's another thing. What you mentioned there.
Magazine release. Some of them are down off the trigger guard. I mean, you might be. I mean, obviously, if it's a different gun, you may not have an extra mag, but it's the if you needed to pick that up to use it for something, you got to have some idea.
Yeah, so I mean, some guy's attacking you. You're pulling your gun out. Now, does this one have a thumb safety on it, or doesn't it? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, Will and Well Armed has joined us.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah. Now, you want to jump in this conversation?
Sure.
The original question.
Yeah, go with the original question just in case.
It was, I believe that your EDC, your carry gun, you should decide what gun you carry and stick with it. Don't keep changing up because you want to look cool or go, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you carry a revolver today, tomorrow you're carrying a semi-auto. You know, then the next day you're carrying a full-size semi-auto. Then the next day you're carrying a 380. You know what I'm saying? I think you should stick with, my personal thing is you stick with one gun.
Right. I stick with one gun for about a month, and then I'll rotate it out. So I carry a Glock 26 a lot, and I'm very familiar with the manual of arm. And other two are is I have a Walther CC. It is a striker fire with and it's a blowback, but pretty much the same manual of arms as the. It's a striker fire, but it does have a safety. And one time, I never use a safety on any of my guns. On my double single, I just shoot from the double on the first shot. But when that safety went on the CCP, I almost took it to the gunsmith thinking it was broken because I didn't even know it had a safety. Tell you the truth, that kind of blew me away. Just being a dumbass, I don't know what I was thinking. I assumed it was being a striker fire and didn't have a safety.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
If you were at the grocery store parking lot, your ass would be in a body bag.
I would be. I know. So that is living proof. I mean, I have to be conscious of it, but now, then the other I carry, and I've got a lot of them that fall in this category, and that's the compact CZ style. It's the CZ with the 3.5-inch barrel, and I've got 9 different pistols that fall into that group. But they all, I've looked at a couple that I wanted, but it had a slide safety. I'm like, nah. Or the manual of arms was, safety was the opposite direction. I'm like, I'm not gonna get that. You know what I mean? Just in case the safety we're on, I know which way to sweep it, but. I try to shoot, my first shot left-handed, from double and then go to single action after that.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I mean, if you carry, like one day if you're carrying a gun, like if you're carrying a 1911 and it has a thumb safety on it, then your next gun you carry doesn't.
Right.
Then you go back to the 1911 the next day after that, and this is the day you get attacked. Now, when you're going to grab your gun, are you thinking, which one have I got today?
Well, so I stay for a whole month, and so what I do at the end of the month is when I'm at that range that week, when I know I'm going to change the next day, is I'll shoot out all my magazines of carry ammo. So, I used to have like 2 magazines with me. And so I'll just shoot what's in my magazine and 2 spare magazines. And then, for the next month, I'll carry something different. So that's just kind of how I keep my ammo refreshed and kind of keep everything in habit and, keep my mind all attuned to what I'm going to go to on the next month. And for me, there's not that big a difference. The only thing is that CCP. I almost thought about super gluing the safety off, but I figured if I did have an accident, I'd probably get in trouble for safety gluing the safety. So I hadn't, but I never use that safety.
Yeah, well, maybe maybe I'm just incompetent. That I just carry one gun and one gun only, and I know how to use it.
No, I wouldn't say that, Rick. You may be safer than others, but I think statistically it's proven that it's an issue. I mean, they call safeties widowmakers for a reason. There's statistics to back it up. There's been, officers that are pulling the trigger on a gun that had the safety on while they were killed in the past. So they state. I don't know for sure, but that's why they made Glocks the way they made them without a safety.
Yeah,
marketed to the police and whatnot, and a lot of other guns come out the same way with no safety. So all you have to do is point and pull the trigger. So that's what works statistically. So jumping around to something that 3 different state manual of arms is going to take an effect, whether people will admit it or not. Whether it's going to be measurable or it's really going to equal out to be something statistically, where it's going to be riskier than getting in an accident on your way to work, that's all debatable and on your lifestyle. But I think all in all, there's got to be muscle memory, factor to this, and just a natural reaction of humans to kind of freeze up or not notice things in the heat of moment. So just want to add that. So, I think you're still right, Rick, but, if you go that too far, you also limit yourself on not having the ability to use anything else. So,
but back to what I said, that's other platforms I play with on the range. So if I have to pick up another gun, I know what I'm doing with it. But I mean, like my EZ, my 380 EZ Performance Center, I don't know if it's changed, but when I got mine, they only came with some thumb safety. They didn't come without one. So I think the regular EZ you can get with or without, but the Performance Center only came with. I don't know if it's changed since then, but I know. And so I'm used to that thumb safety.
Yeah, mine's got the thumb safety and the 1911 style trigger safety or grip safety.
Yeah, mine does too. So anyway, Guns and Barbecues joined us. How you doing?
Good. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, did you hear the question?
I did not.
Okay. Your EDC. My belief is you choose a gun that you're comfortable with, and that's the one you carry. You don't change up every few days to look cool. Because as I said, if you use a 1911 today, then 3 or 4 days down the road, you pick up a revolver. In the heat of the moment, are you going to think, oh, God, what gun am I carrying?
That's actually exactly what I do. If I'm not carrying my 329 PD, then I'm actually carrying my 1911. But part of that is just knowing what I'm carrying that day. Now, when it comes time to take action, I can't say what's going to happen. But I know that there's been points throughout my day where I've thought to myself, for whatever reason, all right, we got the 1911 on today. Or, some other days it might be, like I said, my 329 PD revolver. So, as long as you know what you're carrying and you're comfortable with it, I don't think it's going to matter too much. But again, it's got to be something you're comfortable with. It'd be different if I was typically carrying a revolver, then I was like you said, just to be cool, I wanted to carry a 1911. That's not going to be good. But since I'm familiar with it, I'm comfortable with it, and that's actually what I was carrying before I started carrying my revolver, I don't see an issue for me.
Well, I can see the only people that are going to be left standing in a gunfight are me and Rob.
I got your back, Rick.
Yeah. Because in the heat of the moment,
I would say,
am I carrying a revolver or semi-auto? Does it have a thumb safety or doesn't it?
well, I don't walk around without knowing what I'm carrying. I make a conscious effort to understand that what I'm carrying. I don't just and the swap, and that's a leading question. I think you should be one of those moderators.
Yeah.
One of the debate.
Sometimes I'm so comfortable, I got to check to see if I am carrying when I enter a building or something like that, because I always carry. It's like, remember if you lock your door and you go check it again, like you already locked it, but you just don't remember doing it.
Yeah,
I do that all the time. It's it's just that's when you know you got a good gun, good holster. In my opinion, you don't even realize you got it on.
Yeah. Now I got to talking about that today. When they opened the 1 day early voting station at the fire station today. Now I walked in there I was carrying, but when it becomes a polling station, does it become a federal building? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I do know it instantly becomes a public place. Therefore, with the laws, nobody can kick you out of a building or facility because of your political beliefs or something like that, or off the property. But as far as whether it becomes federal, that I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
They arrested a guy in Maryland yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I think it was yesterday, because he was in a polling place inside and he refused to put a mask on, and then he refused to leave. So they called the cops on him, and they told him, "Yeah, come back tomorrow. Just follow the rules." So I don't know if like the federal thing. They didn't say anything about federal charges or pressing charges against him. So I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, like, technically, you're not meant to wear a firearm in the post office because it's still classed as a federal building, even though the post office aren't federal anymore, or the employees aren't. And certain other places, I mean, so I was wondering, does a polling station become a federal place, or does it come or even some state? Depends what state you're in. Michigan used to be, I don't know if they changed it. You can carry weapons inside the state house. Some states you can't. I mean, does a polling station fall into that category? Is what I was curious about. It don't matter now. I've already gone and voted, and nobody said anything to me. So,
I have no idea, but I think they probably could do it. I know the Rod of Iron Festival there, where the wall was, the memorial wall. To get in there, you had to go past two guys they had a firing barrel and whatnot. You basically had to disarm to get in there to look at the wall. So I thought it was funny because basically you just clear your weapon and they run a zip tie through it. You still hold your ammunition and your weapon as you walk through. And most guys that carry a gun carry a knife, in my thinking. But anyway, Neal State, that was considered federal grounds through that area.
Yeah.
I mean, and you still actually technically carried your gun through and ammunition.
Yeah,
it was zip tied.
I understand what you're saying is zip tied, but most people carry a knife. But most people who carry a handgun legally are law-abiding citizens, so they're not going to cut the tie and slap their magazine back in it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. I'm just making, I guess, overdoing it, but making the point that I guess, federally they can deem whatever they want, whether it's a parking lot or whatever. So I'm not sure how that works, or if they had to give them permission to do so, or what. But
yeah. So okay. I mean, as I said at the very beginning of this chat or this question, was my instructor told me to pick a gun that you're comfortable with and stick with it. Because in the heat of the moment, you want to know what you're grabbing, what you can do, what you can't do. I mean, that's what I did when I changed up from my 45 to my 380. I don't carry the 45 anymore. I stick with a 380 for everything I do.
Well, the real big question is, are you guys going to protect the guy over here in Maryland that's not allowed to have a gun? When we're in a crowd and you guys are all strapped, I'm going to be hiding behind you guys.
Well, that's fine. I'll take care of you. I'll protect you. But I can't carry in Maryland. I don't have they don't recognize anybody. They don't recognize any other body's permit, do they?
No. I can't remember exactly what the number is. I think Snob in his video said 4% of the population in Maryland have a carry permit or something like that. I can't remember, but I know with the number of registered gun owners, it's like 0.01% have an actual carry permit. Now, that doesn't mean that's aside from police officers and security guards. So I'm talking about like the general population.
Yeah.
But wheeled and well armed, and Rick can, lay down some cover fire from the border. And I figure Jason and I can sneak in, and barbecue can have something good waiting for us when we get back. So we'll get you out.
I'll cover you, Rob. Right behind you.
We got
Midnight and Guns and Barbecue will be probably my first line of defense because those guys are the closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, what's time? Oh, jeez, we're almost out of time. That hour went by fast. Normally when you have good conversation, it does. All right. Let me give you my quiz for Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. This is an email question. To me, I think it's simple. It's a two-part question. And Walker, Texas Ranger, I want to know what firearm he carried. And I mean, this is a little side part. I want to know what firearm he carried. It was a stand-in for another firearm. I want to know what he carried. The stand-in thing is just a little extra bonus. Don't get you nothing more. But I'm just curious if people do. And the next question is, what firearm did the Texas Rangers adopt in 2018?
With the first question, are you talking about like the TV show Chuck Norris, or was
Yes.
there a book or an old movie, or
No, the TV show.
okay?
Walker, Texas Ranger. I want to know what firearm he used. So, and then the other second half of that question is, in 2018, what did the Rangers adopt as their official service firearm? That's it. Email me at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by noon. Saturday, Eastern time, the only time zone that matters. And don't forget, guys, the clocks go back, is it? This Sunday?
Yeah.
All back.
I will try to remind you on Saturday again, so you get an extra hour sleep in bed. So, but it don't matter. It don't matter. I don't, because my cats wake up the same. They come and jump on my bed the same time every day. It don't matter what time, whether it's summertime or regular time. So they're still going to, instead of jumping on my bed at 7, they're going to be jumping on my bed at. It's falling back, so it's going to be jumping on my bed at 6, ain't they? Whatever. I know I'm going to lose out on this deal with those cats of mine. Yeah. The other night, I was laying there. I rolled over, and I said sometimes my leg, my bad hip, sometimes the pain will wake me up. And as I flipped over, it was sharp enough and it woke me up. I went, God damn. Anyway, I finished rolling over, and my arm was hanging out of the bed for some reason, and the goddamn cat attacked it. I got scratches all over my goddamn arm. I thought, you son of a bitch. This was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so God knows what he was doing to attack my arm as it fell out of the bed type thing. He must have been just waiting for me to do something. I think
not helping the case of, cats aren't evil.
That's what I'm thinking. I think those two cats mine, sit there when I'm sleeping, because they sleep during the day. When I'm awake, they're asleep. most of the time, except when it's feeding time. Then they'll wake up. But I think at nighttime they just sit there on my bed, waiting to see how they can get me. I really believe that, because you think about it, they've discovered cats' DNA is more in tune with a tiger than it is with a lion. Right?
Yes.
And just think, there's over 2,000 years of that attack tiger going to grab you inside that cat's head. You know, so they're thinking how they can, he's feeding me, but how can we get him? You know, I honestly believe that.
AKA playful.
Playful. Those damn cats don't know how sharp their claws and teeth are. I mean, as I said once, I've said it on here once before. One time he bit me between my thumb and my finger in that fleshy part of my hand. It looked like because they're big cats, and they got big mouths. And when he clamped down, he left two marks in my hand. It looked like a snake bite.
I've got a customer that refers to her cat as playful, as she like hunches back and is scared to death of it. So I think I like cats, but some cats do have a bit too much damn attitude.
Yeah, I mean, the oldest one of mine, I think
when they start tearing you up on the regular, you're the boss. And if that's not the case, then maybe that cat needs to go.
Yeah. The older cat, I think as he's getting older, he's getting more mean, because he'll be laying down beside of me on the chair, and I can put my hand down and pet the top of his head. That's how big he is from my recliner. And sometimes I'll be stroking his head, and all of a sudden he'll just turn around and bite the shit out of my hand for no reason. I think, God damn.
I have a dog that would take care of that cat for you.
My 380 take care of the cat, really. But hey, he's all right. He's playful.
You need to give him a grilled cheese. What you need to do, Rick?
Sound like an abusive wife.
Yeah.
Or an abused wife.
Yeah, Sabrina's right. Dogs have a boss. Cats have employees.
Yeah, but I knew that was going to come out when I said that. I was trying to cut in there and say something, but I didn't want to cut you off. Within reason. Obviously, cats don't really follow the, they do what they do. But when it gets to the point where you're worried about going to sleep with the cat in the room, that cat needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, like today, for instance, feeding time. They were all around me, annoying the shit out of me. So I get up, feed them. I get up, get their feed ready, put the food in their bowls, and I call them and put the bowls down. Did they come? No. They were off doing their thing. I'm calling on. So I just walked off somewhere. Then after I sat down in my recliner, they come trotting out to go eat. Any other days, they're there waiting for me. They're bastards, I think they just do it on purpose. It's annoy the hell out of me. And I think the big one does it because when he eats, I give him his insulin shot because he's a diabetic, my cat. And by not turning up to feed, I'm left. So when I sit down and he comes out, I have to get back up to walk over there to give him his shot, the little bastard. Mind you, I'm not cool enough not to give it to him before he has a coma and dies. That's cruel. But all right, I'm calling it. So, because I'm just rambling on here right now. So I'm calling it, and I'm not going to have grilled cheese tonight. I'm gonna make some hamburgers. I fancy a hamburger. So I'm going to throw a couple on the grill.
Hey,
So
Rick.
What?
Can I mention that giveaway real quick?
You certainly can.
I'm sorry, I got blasted out. I got a birthday. My daughter's teenage birthday this Friday, being on the 30th, if you can imagine. So dealing with all that stuff. But I do have the giveaway, the Patriot 1776 project. I don't know if people got mistook what I said as far as, you know, calling out a hero. It doesn't have to be somebody that's done something recently. It can be somebody in history. It can be, you know, Medal of Honor winners. I mean, you can find, you know, a lot of them in American history. So I don't know. I got an email from someone, and it sounded like they were thinking that I had to, you know, wanted them to nominate somebody they know or something like that. But so that's not it. So if you know anybody, or, you know, in history, and you want to do a video or just do the text answer, next Wednesday we're having the first drawing, and yeah. So
All
please do it. You know, it doesn't have to be very much. I've got a kid here all week, and so tomorrow she leaves, so I'll be doing video. So hopefully I'm gonna do one just to throw in there anyway. So as of right now, I have 2 entries.
All
So
right.
either they're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff, or, you know, and like I said, there's gonna be the Second Amendment Foundation memberships.
Maybe you
custom
want to do
holsters.
another PSA video on it.
Yeah. Otherwise, if nobody does it, then they'll just, you know how I am. I always give out way more than I say I'm going to. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll just get something really good. So.
All right.
All right,
Anything
thank you.
else?
Hey, Rick, did you see what I tagged you in on Instagram last week?
I don't
The
do Instagram.
cheeseburger in a bowl.
I don't do Instagram that well. I know I got an Instagram page, but I don't look at it that often, so I do apologize.
No, that's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I had made what I called cheeseburger in a bowl. Basically, having a cheeseburger without a bun or anything. Made a bunch of ground burger, added in some cheese, melted that all together, added a little bit of ketchup, mustard, tossed a couple pickle spears on the side. Figured, you know, kinds of helps with the diet, getting rid of the bun.
Yeah, but how much cheese?
Just enough that you know it's there. I'm gonna say, honestly, I think it was only like a slice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I actually the other day I was I swung by and I bought myself a McMuffin thing, and it come with cheese, and I ate it. But cheese on a breakfast item just doesn't normally work for me. I'm sorry. Cheese is a lunchtime or dinner item. It's not a breakfast item. You know, but that's just me. Anyway, so Patriots done his shout outs there. So Jason Stewart, you got any shout outs or plugs?
No, thanks for the invite, Rick. Good talking to everybody, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the week.
All right. Kingpin. Talk to me, Kingpin.
I'm trying to get there. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm going to put a link to a guy's channel. His name's Josh Brandenburg. And go check him out. He's a young kid, probably about 20 years old. He has Williamson's syndrome. But he makes cool little videos where he's walking around his yard talking. So go check him out. Give him a thumbs up, and maybe sub to his channel. He's a really nice little kid. I only mention it here because he is a special needs kid, and I know none of you are horrible scumbags, and you'll treat him right. So that's why I mention it here, because I know you guys are all good people. So if you go watch his channel, you know, you'll be cool to him. So I'll put the link in the chat.
All right. Let's see who's next. New York Outcast.
Just say thanks for having me. Everybody take care out there. So, yeah.
All right. That works. Who's next? Will and Well Armed. Any shout outs or plugs?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I got a real quick story. My wife, when we first started dating, she had a tomcat, and it got a little too ferocious. It would jump on top of her head and scratch her face and head all up, and she had it deballed, and it got a little bit better, but it was just something else. I think she ended up giving it away or taking it back to the pound. Some of those cats can be just mean. But yeah, I'm doing a video this weekend on a pretty unique CZ. It's a semi-compact, so it's got a full-size grip and a shorter barrel. So anyway, I'll be doing that video this weekend.
All right.
Thanks, Rick.
No problem. Hey, I tell you who I haven't seen in ages is a bloke's 2 cents worth. Is he still around? Does anybody know? I was hoping Kingpin dropped out. I was hoping he would.
Haven't seen or heard from Bloke for a while. I know he started his own company, and he was doing schooling and working. So,
Okay. I said because I ain't seen him for a while either. Oh, Kingpin said, yeah, he's talked to him. He's doing good. All right. Kingpin said he had to jump. So thanks, Kingpin. All right, Guns and Barbecue. Any shout outs or plugs?
Well, I'm still doing that. What is a video series for new gun owners? Seems like every time one of those videos goes live or whatever you want to call it, I lose a subscriber. So just be warned, if you are watching it and you're a seasoned gun owner, it's really not for you. You're probably going to find it very bland. It's firearms 101, really. But if you do know any firearms owners that are new or anything like that, please point them in that direction. That's all I got. Thanks.
All right. No problem. Actually, talking about that, I've lost a couple of subscribers. I think YouTube just go through them or whatever, or somebody, there's no activity on one for you for a long time, and they just go ahead and delete it. I don't know, but I couldn't tell you. Anyway, I want to say thank you for everybody for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And I tell you real quick. I was sitting there this afternoon, early this evening, before I came on the computer to set up for this show. And I'm thinking, why have I been nice and calm the last couple of days? And that's because Never Enough Ammo and his hasty headlines hasn't been on. I don't know. He must have his internet issues again.
Well, there you go, Rick. Get feeling better. Stay away.
That's it. Exactly.
No use getting involved in all the drama and getting your nerves all stressed out.
You're absolutely right. So anyway, I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. So good night, everybody.
Bye, Sabrina.